Hi, it's Rosalind Henschel here, and I'm with Richard Cousley, who's an orthodontist. Today we're going to be talking about questions that you should ask an orthodontist if you're perhaps looking for treatment. So before we get started, hello Richard, how are you?
Hello Rosalind, I'm fine, thank you.
Great, well thank you so much for being here today. The first question that I've got for you is that there are hundreds of people who look every month for a new orthodontist. What are the top 3 pieces of advice that you think people should look for in an orthodontist?
It's a tricky question because it can be very difficult for the general public to work out who's the best person to go to. I think the main starting point is that the person should be a specialist. They should be a fully qualified orthodontist. And what that means is that they'll have undergone 3 years of full-time training. And then a smaller number of orthodontists then go on to train further for another 2 years to become recognized as consultants, which are recognized by additional qualifications. So the main thing is have a look around and see what the qualifications of the individuals are. And really then that they should be offering a wide variety of treatments. They shouldn't just offer you or other patients only one type of treatment. They should be able to provide you with options and really the latest innovations and technical options. And then secondly, you want the individual to be able to demonstrate a high standard of clinical care. And some people do that by, for instance, showing a portfolio of their treated cases. So you may be able to look through some treatments which other people have had and look at the results. I mean, you want to look at the results in a fairly critical manner, because if the photographs don't show you very much, or if they only show you a couple of teeth, or they don't show you the bite or the smile or the whole face, then you want to be critical and think, well, why is that? So look for some evidence that the individual has actually got some orthodontic skills that they can demonstrate. And in one other way, although it tends to sort of involve a much fewer number of orthodontists, is look to see, do they teach and lecture, for instance, in new techniques or innovations, and have they published anything in recognized orthodontic journals? And then finally, one of the key things which we almost forget is that orthodontics involves a lot of cooperation between the orthodontist and you, the patient. So you need to be comfortable with the orthodontist, and also if it's treatment that you're looking for your child, then they ought to be very friendly to children, and your child should be comfortable with them, and that's very important in order to achieve the best results. And again, you can try and look for that in terms of personal recommendations.
Thank you. So there's a lot of things really that people should be looking out for when they are doing their investigations to find an orthodontist. Can you tell me, Richard, because of your own experience as an orthodontist, how would you say that your own practice differs from others in your area?
I'm a consultant orthodontist, so that means that I trained as a dentist first and then became a specialist and then went on further to train as a consultant. So it means that I'm able to treat every form of orthodontic problem out there, ranging from a few irregular teeth, which people will like to straighten for cosmetic reasons, right through to people with some quite severe jaw and bite problems. And I think that's important because it means that you will be offered sort of as wide a range of options as possible. So you may only want to address one particular problem, or equally there are other problems which people come to me which just haven't been recognized, and in that way we can discuss different options and try and develop a package of care which is really tailored to you as the individual. I suppose on top of my my background as a consultant, I've become recognized in the last few years as an expert in new orthodontic techniques. So for instance, I've published a new clinical technique book in 2013. So that gives me, well, partly gives me a lot of pleasure, but also keeps me at the forefront of new technical and clinical developments. And then most recently, I've been involved in designing a snoring appliance. So if that's something that's an issue for you, then it might be worth giving me a call in terms of trying to get some peaceful nights of sleep.
Great. Well, it sounds like it's certainly a very varied range of projects that you've been involved in, and very interesting actually to hear about. And finally, then, the last question that I've got for you is, if someone has been watching this today and they are interested in coming to see you, what type of experience would they have as a first-time patient with you?
I recognise that a lot of people are quite nervous when they come to see a dentist, and also they may not be fully aware of what an orthodontist does or what kind of service we can offer. So I'd like to think that people will feel relaxed during a consultation, that they have the opportunity to discuss exactly what their concerns are, and we can try and address those once I've had a sort of detailed look at the shape of their face and the shape of their mouth and teeth. So it's really about delivering a professional service, but also one that you can feel comfortable with, and then also feel involved in your own decision making, so you can make the right choice of treatment that's exactly tailored to you.
Great. Well, thank you so much for answering the questions today. For anyone who's watching, and if you're interested in getting in touch with Richard, I'll leave his details on the screen there. All his contact details are going to be in the box below as well. And Richard, before we sign off, is there anything final that you'd like to add for anyone?
Yes, I mean, I'd like to thank you, Rosalind, for the opportunity. And it's worth saying to people that no matter how old or how young you are these days, I mean, orthodontics has changed immensely. So there are a lot of things that we can do for people who would classically consider themselves as too old for treatment. So I've treated people of pensionable age, and I've treated children sort of at primary school level. So there's a huge age range. So please don't be put off and think, oh, I'm too old for this, or it's not going to be worthwhile, because I see an awful lot of people who've had immense benefit from orthodontic treatment at a great variety of ages. So I'd just say go for it.
Excellent. Well, again, thank you so much. It's been great having you on today. And for anyone who does want to get in touch, as I said earlier, Richard's details are below. Thank you again, and we hope to speak to you all again soon. Bye.
Okay. Thanks, Rosalind.